There's a name in your phone you could call right now. An old friend. Someone you'd have told anything 10 years ago. And you won't call him. You'll look at the name, feel something move, and put the phone down. You're not sure when that became true, but it did. And it's been true for a while. You've been told this is an epidemic. The phones, the dead bars, the way men were trained not to need anyone. All of that is real. And none of it is the part that changes anything for you, because all of it happened out there. Your friendships didn't leave from out there. They left through a series of small, quiet decisions you made without ever deciding. Tonight, I'll walk you back through the actual reasons, 5 of them. Not to make you feel worse, but because everyone has a door in it. And by the end, you'll see why the silence on your phone isn't the verdict you're afraid it is. Start with the one you'll recognize first. Almost every friendship you've lost was built on a thing you did together. The team, the job, the band, the lease, the weekly game. You stood side by side, facing the task, and the closeness came free. A byproduct of proximity. You never had to build it. It was just there because you were. That's how men are made to bond. Women tend to sit face to face and talk. Men line up shoulder to shoulder and do. Nothing wrong with it. Some of the best hours of your life were on that side of a shared task. But it hides a cost. The activity was a bridge between you, and you spent years walking back and forth across it, mistaking the crossing for a place you'd arrived. Then the thing ended. New job. The team broke up. The kids came and the game nights stopped. And you found you'd never built anything on the far side of the bridge. No ground of your own, just the crossing. The friend disappeared with the activity because the friend had only ever been the activity, wearing a face. The door is small and almost embarrassing. Make one of those men a friend without the thing. Reach out when there's no game and no reason. Just, I was thinking about you. This is the one Carl Jung names better than anyone. Somewhere in your 30s you became competent, the provider, the steady one everyone leans on. You built that man on purpose because the world demanded him, and he works. Jung had a word for the built self, the persona. In his words, the face a man assembles from what he should appear to be. He takes a name, earns a title, exercises a function. His warning was exact. A man confused with the persona until no one's left underneath. The social strong man, he wrote, is often in private a mere child, where his own feelings are concerned. Here's what that did to your friendships. You started sending the provider to everything. The dinner, the catch-up, the rare night out. The competent one, with the rehearsed update. The firm handshake. No needs. And your friend kept waiting for you, the actual one underneath, to show up. You'd retired him. 2 competent men can pass a whole pleasant evening and never once meet. The door. Let one person see the man behind the function, not a speech. One true sentence about how you're actually doing, the kind the provider would never say. None of your real friendships ended in a fight. No falling out, no last word. They thinned. A text you meant to send. A call you'd make once things calmed down. A birthday caught 3 days late and felt too sheepish to mention. Each one, nothing. All of them together. Everything. It didn't break. It atrophied. The way a muscle you stop using forgets its own strength. And you had a word ready that made it feel like nothing was happening. Busy? You were busy. It's always true. Busy is the most honorable word in the language, for I stopped choosing him. It lets you set a friendship down without ever feeling your hand open. But notice who did the not texting. Not the world. Not him. You. 100 small mornings, each a decision you don't remember making. Every one yours. That's not an accusation. It's the best news in this whole video. If the thinning was something you did, the reaching is something you can do. The door is almost insultingly simple. One name, one message, today, no occasion attached. Watch how hard your own thumb fights you, and do it anyway. When a friend asked how you were, what did you hand him? The score, the promotion, the thing you were crushing. You traded highlights. And on the nights you weren't crushing anything, scared, or quietly coming apart, you gave him the highlight anyway, because you can't look like you're winning and ask for help in the same breath. So you chose to look like you were winning and stayed alone inside it. Men compete. Even our closeness keeps a scoreboard. But a friendship made of 2 highlight reels isn't a friendship. It's 2 rivals who happen to like each other. The part you hide to stay impressive. The fear, the part that isn't winning. Jung called the shadow. And here's the cruelty. That hidden part is the exact material intimacy is made of. You can only be known by what you're ashamed to show. The door. Next time a man asks how you are, tell him one true thing that isn't a win. 9 times in 10, he exhales and hands you one of his. The one underneath all the others, you're still waiting to be reached for. You'd never say it like that. You say, I'm not going to chase people who don't make the effort. I have my pride. It sounds like a boundary, but go underneath it. Below the pride is something much older. The fear of being the one who wants more. The boy who learned that reaching out and not being reached back for is a humiliation he'd rather never feel again. So he waits. He keeps the standards high and the hand unraised and calls the waiting dignity. And the other man, your friend, was raised on the same code. He's waiting too. 2 men who genuinely miss each other in 2 houses, each holding perfectly still, each certain the other should go first. A standoff no one wins, both are quietly losing, and either one could end with a single text. The boy is still in there, running the grown man's pride. The door is the thing he's most afraid of. Reach first, with no guarantee it lands. Not because you're sure he'll answer, but because you've decided you don't need the answer to know you were the kind of man who reached. So, the reframe I promised. The silence on your phone is not the verdict on your life. Carl Jung said, what is true in the morning of a life becomes a lie by evening. That the second half asks something the first half never did. Your early friendships were morning friendships, built outward, of doing and winning. They go quiet in the afternoon, not because you're broken, but because that whole way of relating has run out, and something in you is finally being asked to turn around and be known. The empty phone isn't the end of your friendships. It's the second half of your life, knocking. They didn't thin because you're unlovable. They thinned because the man who could be reached went quiet inside you first, and he's still in there. So tonight, before you talk yourself out of it, pick the name. Send the one text, no reason attached. Be the one who reaches. The silence has only been waiting for you to break it.